Hi, good morning. Today we are going to start our next section, coordinates. Okay, before that, we already know the definition of basis. Now, what do you mean by a basis? A basis is a set of vectors which is linearly independent and spans the space V. Okay, now here we are going to define ordered basis. Okay, what do you mean by an ordered basis? Let V be a finite dimensional vector space over F. Okay. Then an ordered basis for V is a finite sequence of vectors which is linearly independent and spans V. Okay. Is a finite sequence. This sentence is important. Okay. That means an ordered basis for for V means that have a specific order also, that is a basis. Okay, now there is a note. If the sequence alpha 1, alpha 2, etc., alpha n is a ordered basis for V, then the set alpha 1, alpha 2, etc., alpha n is a basis for V. Okay, or an ordered basis is a set together with specified ordering. Okay, and we can denote the set as like this. This is a ordered basis B equal to alpha 1, alpha 2, etc. alpha n. Now we are going to prove one result. Actually, it is not a theorem. Okay, one result. Suppose V is a finite dimensional vector space over V. Okay, and beta equal to alpha 1, alpha 2, etc. alpha n is a ordered basis for V. Then we have to prove that given any alpha belongs to V, there is a unique n-tuple x1, x2, etc. xn of scalars such that alpha you can write like this. This representation is unique. Okay. So first we have to prove you can write alpha like this. Then we have to prove this representation is unique. Okay. Now moving to the proof. What is the proof? This given that alpha 1, alpha 2, etc. alpha n is a basis. Okay, alpha 1, alpha 2, etc. alpha n is a ordered basis. That means it is a basis. Therefore, given any alpha belongs to V, you can write alpha as a linear combination of alpha 1, alpha 2, etc. alpha n. Therefore, there exist scalars x1, x2, etc., xn belongs to F such that alpha you can write as x1 alpha 1 plus x2 alpha 2 plus etc. plus xn alpha n. Okay, that's equal to sigma I equal to 1 to n xi alpha I. Alpha you can write like this. Now we want to show this representation is unique. Okay, suppose you can write alpha. Okay, this is alpha. Mark this as equation 1. Suppose there exists another representation, that is alpha equal to sigma I equal to 1 to n some yi alpha I, and this is representation 2. Now we have to prove this representation is unique means we want to prove xi equal to yi for every I equal to 1 to etc. n. Okay. Now both side left hand side is equal. Therefore you can write right hand side is also equal. That is sigma I equal to 1 to n. Xi alpha is equal to sigma I equal to 1 to n yi alpha I. Okay. Now taking to left hand side, this you can write as sigma I equal to 1 to n xi alpha I minus sigma I equal to 1 to n yi alpha I is equal to 0. Okay. Now alpha is are common. This summation sigma I equal to 1 to n xi alpha I minus sigma is common. Okay, yi alpha I equal to 0. That is sigma I equal to 1 to n xi minus yi alpha I is equal to 0. Okay. If you look at this, this is actually x1 minus y1 alpha 1 plus x2 minus y2 alpha 2 plus etc. plus xn minus yn alpha n. This is equal to 0. But alpha 1, alpha 2, etc. alpha n's are linearly independent because it is a basis. Therefore, this sum equal to 0 means x1 minus y1 equal to 0, x2 minus y2 equal to 0, etc. xn minus yn equal to 0. This implies x1 equal to y1, x2 equal to y2, implies xn is equal to yn. Okay, that means xi equal to yi for every I. Okay, this implies the representation of alpha is unique. Therefore, for any alpha belongs to V, you can write alpha as sigma I equal to 1 to n xi alpha I, and this representation is unique. Okay, clear? So if B equal to alpha 1, alpha 2, etc. alpha n, okay, then given any alpha we can get scalars like this. Okay, now we are denoting coordinate matrix of alpha relative to the ordered basis B is x is equal to this matrix x1, x2, etc. xn. Clear? For each alpha belongs to V, we have, you can write alpha like this. These xi's are unique. Okay, so corresponding to each alpha we get a matrix like this, and this matrix is called coordinate matrix of alpha related to the ordered basis. Okay, this is actually ordered basis. This is called script B. Okay, and we denote this as matrix of alpha related to the basis B. Okay, therefore alpha related to B is equal to x1, x2, etc. x. Clear? Now there is a note. Now suppose for each alpha you have a representation like this. That is, if alpha, suppose alpha is equal to sigma I equal to 1 to n xi alpha I. Okay, and beta you can write some summation I equal to 1 to n yi alpha I. Okay. Now alpha plus beta. What is alpha plus beta? By definition, alpha plus beta you can write like this: sigma I equal to 1 to n xi plus yi alpha I. Okay. Similarly, some C alpha you can write as sigma I equal to 1 to n Cxi alpha I. Okay. So what about matrix of alpha plus beta? Matrix of alpha plus beta is actually related to the basis B is actually x1 plus y1, x2 plus y2, etc. xn plus yn. And this is same as x1, x2, etc. xn plus y1, y2, etc. yn. And this is equal to matrix of alpha related to the basis B plus matrix of beta, beta, okay, related to the basis B. This is beta and this is script B, okay. Thus we get matrix of alpha plus beta related to the basis B is equal to matrix of alpha related to the basis B plus matrix of beta related to the basis B. Okay. Similarly, matrix of C alpha related to the basis B is equal to C into matrix of alpha related to the basis B. Okay. Clear? Now, we have another note, second note. For every n tuple, x1, x2, etc., xn in Fn. Okay. Fn is coordinate vector of coordinate of some vector alpha in V. Why? If you take any x1, x2, etc., xn in F, we get vectors x1, x2, etc., xn. You find sigma xi I equal to 1 to n xi alpha I. Clearly, this is linear combination of alpha i's. Therefore, clearly this belongs to V and mark this as alpha. Okay, then alpha equal to sigma I equal to 1 to n xi alpha I. Alpha i's are ordered bases. Therefore, this representation is unique. And for corresponding alpha matrix of alpha related to basis B equal to x1, x2, etc., xn. Therefore, for each for each n tuple Fn, we get a vector alpha in V. Okay, we get a vector. Which is the vector? Which is vector is sigma I equal to 1 to n xi alpha. Similarly, for each alpha belongs to V, as in our theorem, you can write alpha as sigma I equal to 1 to n xi alpha I. And matrix of alpha related to beta is this one, x1, x2, etc., xn. Clearly this coordinate, if you consider x1, x2, etc., xn, clearly this belongs to Fn. Okay, so for each alpha to some x1, x2, etc., xn, this is a one-to-one map. Okay, that is there is a one-to-one correspondence between set of all vectors alpha in V and set of all n tuple Fn. How? If you take any alpha, we get a vector like this. Similarly, if you take any vector like this, then you will get an alpha in V. So there exists a one-to-one correspondence between alpha in V and a set of all vectors x1, x2, etc., xn in V. Okay. Hope this is clear. Now we have to prove one theorem that we will discuss in our next class.